Welcome back to Chronic's History, your guide through the enigmas of the past that still haunt the present. Today, we're diving into one of the greatest mysteries in American history, the lost colony of Roanoke. Imagine an entire village of English colonists vanishing without a trace, as if swallowed by the earth or the sea. What happened to those 115 souls in 1590? Was it a massacre, a curse, or something even more inexplicable? Get ready, because this story will make you question everything you know about the early days of colonization in the Americas. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any episodes. Let's go. It all begins at the end of the 16th century, in the era of great explorations. England, under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, was eager to expand its empire and challenge Spanish dominance in the New World. Sir Walter Raleigh, an adventurer and court favorite, receives the mission to establish the first permanent English colony in North America. In 1585, an expedition with about 100 men, all colonists and explorers, sets off for Roanoke Island, located in the Outer Banks of present-day North Carolina. Why Roanoke? Well, it was strategic, close to the mainland, with access to resources like fish and wood, but protected by sandbanks that made enemy attacks difficult. But reality was harsh. The colonists arrive and build a rudimentary fort. They face rigorous winters, food shortages, and, worst of all, conflicts with local indigenous tribes. The natives, like the Algonquians, are initially curious, but soon see the English as invaders. There are reports of supply thefts and skirmishes. Without supplies from England delayed by wars in Europe, the colony collapses. In 1586, Sir Francis Drake, the famous privateer, passes through the area after looting Spanish colonies and offers evacuation. The colonists accept, leaving behind an abandoned fort and some items. It was the end of the first attempt, but not the end of English ambition. It doesn't take long for a second chance. In 1587, Raleigh sends another expedition, this time led by John White, a talented artist and cartographer who had already been to the region. Now, the group is more diverse, 117 colonists, including 90 men, 17 women, and 11 children. Among them, White's daughter, Eleanor Dare, and her husband, Ananias. The plan? To establish a sustainable family colony called City of Raleigh. They arrive at Roanoke in July 1587 and find the previous fort in ruins, covered in vegetation. Quickly, they rebuild wooden houses, plant corn, and try to ally with friendly natives, like the Croatoan, who lived on the neighboring island of Hatteras. And here comes a historical milestone. On August 18, 1587, Virginia Dare is born, daughter of Eleanor and Ananias, the first English child born in the Americas, a symbol of hope for the New World. But the joy is short-lived. The colony faces the same problems: lack of supplies, diseases, and tensions with hostile tribes. One colonist is killed by natives while fishing. White realizes they need urgent help from England. He hesitates, but decides to return to seek reinforcements, leaving behind his daughter, granddaughter, and the other colonists. Before leaving, he instructs, if you need to move, carve the destination on a tree or post. If it's under threat, add a Maltese cross. White sets sail in August 1587, promising to return in a few months. But fate intervenes. In Europe, the Anglo-Spanish War erupts. The famous Spanish Invincible Armada attacks England in 1588, and all available ships are requisitioned for defense. White tries to leave several times, but is prevented. Only in 1593, long years later, does he manage to set sail with a small fleet. He arrives at Roanoke on August 18th, ironically, Virginia Dare's third birthday. White's heart must have raced as he approached the island. He expects to see smoke from chimneys, children running. But what he finds is absolute silence. The colony is empty. The houses were dismantled in an organized manner, as if the colonists had planned to move. There are no bodies, no signs of struggle, fire, or looting. Just two enigmatic clues. On a post to the palisade that surrounded the village, the word Croatoan carved carefully, and on a nearby tree, the letters Crow, no cross, suggesting it wasn't a departure forced by violence. White interprets this as a sign that the colonists moved to Croatoan Island, home of the Allied natives. Excited, he plans to go there, but a violent storm prevents it. The ship captains, fearing shipwreck, force the return to England. White never returns, and dies without knowing his family's fate. Thus, 115 colonists, men, women, children, including little Virginia, disappear from history, as if they evaporated into the humid air of North Carolina's swamps. This is the core of the mystery, an unexplained disappearance, the first great enigma of colonial America. Over the centuries, the Roanoke mystery has inspired countless theories, from plausible to fantastic. Let's explore the main ones, based on historical and archaeological evidence. First, the most accepted theory today: assimilation with indigenous tribes. The colonists, starving and isolated, may have allied with the Croatoan and moved to Hatteras Island. Reports from later explorers, like those from Jamestown in 1607, mention natives with European features, gray eyes, light hair, living in the region. In 1701, explorer John Lawson describes Indians who spoke English and had books, claiming descent from white people. Modern archaeologists, like Scott Dawson, have excavated sites in Hatteras and found English ceramics mixed with native artifacts, suggesting a peaceful cultural fusion. Perhaps the colonists integrated, married natives, and adopted their customs to survive. Tribes like the Lumbee in North Carolina claim Roanoke heritage, and DNA tests are underway to confirm. But what if it wasn't peaceful? Another theory points to a massacre by hostile tribes. The Powhatan, a powerful confederation on the mainland, were known for fierce attacks. In 1607, Captain John Smith hears from a Powhatan chief that he massacred white men years before. However, the absence of bones or weapons at Roanoke contradicts this. The dismantled houses suggest planning, not panic. Perhaps the colonists tried to move to the mainland, as initially planned, but were ambushed on the way. There's also the possibility of natural disasters. The Outer Banks are notorious for devastating hurricanes. Climate records show a severe drought in the 1580s, followed by storms. A hurricane could have destroyed the colony, scattering survivors or drowning them. But again, where are the wreckage? The colonists were experienced. Why not leave more clues? An intriguing theory comes from modern map analyses. In 2012, the British Museum examined a map drawn by John White in 1585 using infrared light. Under a paper patch, they discovered hidden symbols, an indigenous fort inland, about 50 miles west of Roanoke, in what is now Bertie County. Perhaps the colonists moved there, seeking more fertile lands. In 2025, excavations revealed European artifacts in that area, including rings and tools, strengthening this idea. Could it be the place where they took refuge, mixing with local natives? And the wilder theories. Some speculate about epidemic diseases, like smallpox brought by the colonists themselves, decimating the population. Others talk of cannibalism due to famine, inspired by stories like Jamestown's. There are even supernatural legends, ghosts, indigenous curses, or dimensional portals, fuel for horror films, like The Lost Colony, but science points to earthly explanations. Recent evidence keeps the mystery alive. The Fort Raleigh National Historic Site, managed by the National Park Service, continues In 2020, a book by Dawson argues that the mystery is over. The colonists became Croatoan. But in 2026, with advances in AI and DNA analysis, new discoveries emerge. Native descendants test for 16th century European genes, and drones map submerged sites in the Outer Banks, where erosion may have hidden evidence. What makes Roanoke so fascinating? It's a reminder of how fragile history is. Before Jamestown or Plymouth, this was the first English attempt, and it failed spectacularly. It represents the complexities of colonial interactions, alliances, betrayals, adaptations. The colonists weren't lost. Perhaps just transformed, fused into the fabric of Native America. So, what do you think? Assimilation, massacre, or something else? Leave your favorite theory in the comments. If you enjoyed this dive into the past, like the video, share with friends, and subscribe for more mysteries like the Bermuda Triangle or the lost city of Atlantis. In the next episode, we explore the secrets of the Knights Templar. Thanks for watching, and remember, history isn't just facts, it's full of shadows. See you next time.